Assalamu alaikum and very good morning, students. I hope all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine, Alhamdulillah. So, students, I am Munzur Kader, teacher of class 4, sector 7. So, students, by this time you have already watched different classes and you have already got some idea. And today we are going to learn, read the instructions and answer the questions. From here we will learn how many types of question given and how we write the answer of the questions. Okay, so in this topic there are 3 questions. Number 1, it is knowledge based question. Number 2, it is understanding based question. And number 3, it is application based question. So you have to read the instructions properly and then you have to write down these 3 questions answer. And for your betterment, I want to tell that for 1 number question you can write the answer in 1 word or you can write 1 logical sentence. And number 2, understanding based question, here you can write 1 logical sentence. And last one, application based question, here you can write 3 sentences. Okay, and for this you have to follow the knowledge based answer and understanding based answer. So in this way you have to write down the answer of the 3 questions. So today we are going to learn, read the instructions and answer the questions, whose lesson number 14. So students, let's go to our main discussion.
Learning outcome from previous lesson. So students, at first we will know what we learned from our previous lesson. So let's see what we learned from our previous lesson. We learned how to rearrange disordered words to make a meaningful sentence. So from here what we learned? We learned how to arrange jumbled word or disordered words to make a meaningful sentence. Then we also learn how to fill up a form by following questions. Here we have to follow the questions and you have to fill up a form. We also learned how to draw a box for filling up a form. In this option you have to fill up a form by drawing a box, and for drawing this box you need to use pencil. And we also learned how to write an address. So you have learned that at the time of writing present address and permanent address, you must write down these 2 addresses 2 times. You have to write down. No one will write do or same at the time of writing the address. Okay. Now we will learn the ways to write the question's answer. We will learn what are the ways to write the question's answer. What are the techniques to write the question's answer. So here there will be 3 types of questions. They are based on knowledge, understanding and application. So at first we will learn what is knowledge based question. So students, here you will give the answer from the previous knowledge. So knowledge based question, here you have to give the answer from your previous knowledge. An answer may be one word or any logical sentence. So here what you can do, you can write one word or you can write any logical sentence. And you have to remember that if you cannot write the word or the logical sentence properly, if it is not relevant to the questions, that time you will not get any mark. Your full mark will be deducted. So be very careful at the time of writing the knowledge based questions answer. Then understanding. This is the 2-number question. This is understanding based question. So at first we will learn what do you mean by understanding. Understanding means to know the meaning of the topic. Here you have to know about the meaning of the topic, and students will write the answer what they understand by reading the instructions. So here you have to understand. How will you understand? By reading the instructions which will be given in the question, and the answer may be any logical sentence. Here you can also write down the answer in any logical sentence you can write. If the answer is not logical, if the question not relevant, question's answer if not relevant, that time you will not get mark. So be very careful at the time of writing the answer. Application. 3-number questions, it is application based question, and here students will write the answer from their previous knowledge and understanding. So here what you have to do, you have to follow knowledge based question and understanding based question, and by following these questions answer you can write down 3-number questions answer. This questions answer may not find from the topic or book. Students, you cannot find the answer of the 3-number questions from the topic or book. You cannot find. So what you have to do, you have to find out the answer from previous knowledge and understanding, and here you can write down 3 sentences. Okay. Now read the instructions about having meal and then answer the following questions. So at first we have to read the instructions, then you have to give the answer of the questions. So what are the instructions? Let's see. Number 1, wash your hands with soap and sit quietly to take lunch. Number 1. Then 2 number, take as much rice and curry as you need. 3 number, chew gently for good digestion. 4 number, after finishing your food, wash your hands and clean your mouth. Number 5, dry your hands and lips using a clean towel. So students, here there are 5 instructions given. At first you have to follow these instructions, then you have to write down the 3 questions answer. Okay. So let's go next. Answer the following questions. So let's see what are the questions. At first, knowledge based question. So let's see what is the knowledge based question. What do you take at lunch as a meal? So let's try what will be the answer. All of you try to do this. So let's see. Yes. Answer will be I take rice and curry at lunch as a meal. So here question, what do you take? So actual answer rice and curry, but you have to arrange this answer by following the question. So answer is I take rice and curry at lunch as a meal. This is knowledge based question. And then understanding. Question is why should you wash your hands with soap? Here it is said why. So why it gives reason or cause. So let's see what will be the answer. Yes, I wash my hands with soap to get my hands free from germs. So naturally we wash our hands to get our hands free from germs. For that reason we have to wash our hands. This is the understanding based question and answer. And then application. Let's see the question. How do you take your dinner? So here you have to tell the process. How do you take your dinner? So let's see the answer. Answer. Firstly, I wash my hands and sit at dining table. I take my food. I chew it gently. Then I complete my food and wash my hands and lips. So this is the process. How will you take your dinner? Okay, as this is the application based question, that's why here you have to write down 3 sentences at least. Okay, so students, in this way you have to follow the questions and you have to write down these 3 questions answer. Read the suggestions about becoming a good student in school. Then answer the following questions. So students, here if you want to become a good student in school, then how will you become a good student? For that you need to know the instructions. So you have already learned in this topic, read the instructions and answer the questions. Here you will given some instructions. You have to follow these instructions and then you have to give the answer of the questions. So students, let's see the instructions. Number 1, attend your class on time. Number 2, be attentive in the class. Number 3, listen carefully to your class teacher. Number 4, raise your hand if you want to ask your teacher a question. Number 5, write down and complete the task which your teacher gives you. Dear students, these are 5 instructions. You have to follow these instructions, then you have to write down 3 questions answer. Now, feedback. So students, I have already shown you the instructions. I have already shown the instructions, or you can say I have already shown the suggestions. How can you become a good student in school? And here you have to tell the answer of the 3 questions. So you have already learned that first question, this is knowledge based question. Number 2, this is understanding based question. And number 3, this is application based question. So by following the instructions, you have to write down these 3 questions answer. Students, you will practice these questions. You will try to write down these 3 questions answer at home properly. Before writing these questions answer, you will read the instructions properly and then you will write the answer. I say you to practice it at home, how to write down the answer of the questions. Okay, so let's see what are the questions. Number 1, what should you do in the class? Then, why should you raise your hand to ask your teacher a question? Then, what is the benefit of writing down the task in your classwork copy? These are the 3 questions. You have to practice these 3 questions. How can you write down the answer properly and nicely? Okay. Learning outcome from today's lesson. So students, now we will review our class again, what we learned from our today's class. So let's see. From our today's class, we have learned about knowledge, understanding, and application. We have taken idea what is knowledge based question, what is understanding based question, and what is application based question. And we have also learned how can we write down the knowledge based question answer, understanding based questions answer, and application based questions answer. Okay. And we also learned about 3 questions answer by reading the instructions. So here you have to follow the instructions. You have to follow the suggestions. How can you write the answer of the questions? We've also learned about the techniques for writing these questions answer. So I have already told you that for these 3 questions answer, in knowledge based questions answer, we can write one word or one logical sentence. In understanding based question answer, we can write any logical sentence, and in application based questions answer we can write three sentences, but we have to follow previous knowledge and understanding. By this way we can write down these three questions answer properly and nicely. Now homework. So students, now I will give homework number 7. So all of you give concentration and look at the screen. So here I will give the instructions, and then you have to write down the three questions answer in your homework copy. Okay, so at first let's see what are the instructions. So read the instructions about making a vegetable garden and answer the following questions. Number 1, select a plot for your garden. At first you have to select or you have to choose a plot or field for your garden. Number 2, prepare the soil. Number 3, sow the seeds. Number 4, put water and fertilizer. You have to put water and fertilizer to make the field fertile. Number 5, make a fence around the garden. You have to make a fence around the garden so that the animals or any other animals cannot destroy the garden. So students, by reading the instructions, you have to write down these three questions answer. And how will you write? You will write these three questions and answer in your homework copy. What you have to do? You have to write down these three questions and answer of the three questions you have to write down in your homework copy. So first one is, when do you work in your garden? This is knowledge based question. So at first you will write down the question and then you will write down the answer of the question. Number 2, why do you make a garden? This is understanding based question. And number 3, how do you make your garden? So these are the three questions. You have to write down these three questions and answer of the three questions in your homework copy properly and nicely. And for this, you have to follow the instructions. You have to read the instructions properly. Okay.
So dear students, our class is up to this. I hope all of you understood all the things. Even then, if you have any question, you will ask in Zoom class. I will try to give the answer properly. So all of you try to be safe, try to be good at home. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.